Hello, you beautiful people. Lisa sharing life stories with you. I got a story of when my dad had a stroke on the kitchen floor. I'm putting some makeup on because a guy said to me today, now this is a new one, I don't know which one's worse. He goes, no disrespect, but you kind of look like Andy Warhol. I kind of see it because it's the hairdo and the glasses. See, if I didn't have my hair short like this, which I'm thinking of letting my hair grow all over winter and start wearing a stocking cap here with their logo on it. And then that way, I don't have to fix my hair every day or nothing. Just wear a stocking cap and grow my hair out over winter. Because that would be a good way of doing it and nobody knowing. By summer, my hair should be quite long if I'd stop cutting it because it's already November. So I think I'm going to do it, and that would save me a lot of money. Every month, $30. How much would that be? 30, 60, 90, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 10, 20, 30, 40, 140, 150, $150. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Alright, let me get to the story and tell you beautiful people. This is pretty cool. I got some of this stuff out of my van. I gotta clean that van out before it's 50 feet of snow. Now, this is a bright ass color. I don't want to put no mascara on because I gotta take a shower anyways, as I gotta go to the doctor's in the morning. And when I get back, I'm gonna cut grass and all that. So it's kind of crazy. I'm gonna get cleaned up and then I'm gonna get all crappy and dirty. But let me tell you, okay. How did it happen? Let me see. Let me go back in time. So many things happened with my dad. My dad was a hard worker. My dad worked full time when he was 11 years old, like a grown man, and paid his mother rent. Can you imagine that? My dad was in a bar at 11 years old drinking like he was a grown man. My dad wasn't like my two uncles. My dad was a man's man. My dad was very, very smart, could do anything, made antique furniture replicas for my mother. He was a painter and decorator. He was one of the best people at his craft at General Motors Tech Center. He was taught, my eye is itching me like a bugger. He was taught by my grandfather, my mother's father. My grandfather is such a cool name. I love it. We're English, but I guess it might be part German. But as far as I know, it's English because his parents, my grandfather's parents, came from England, Wales. And it was Maxwell Edgar Hildreth. Isn't that a beautiful name? Maxwell Edgar Hildreth. And my grandpa hated the name Maxwell. He wanted everybody to call him Max, but everybody called my grandpa the nickname Fred. Isn't that weird? Everybody called my grandpa Fred. I'm like, why would... Even my mom said, like, why would you want the name Fred when your name is Maxwell? It was beautiful. I don't know. He liked the name Fred. He's so goofy. I loved my grandpa. He was just walking and a-talking. We used to make fun of him. He never could sit still for 2 minutes. He was like his ass was on fire. He was 80 years old going on the roof, cleaning gutters and stuff out of their house on the lake. He was a pistol, my grandpa. I loved him. Loved him a lot. He was good. He always wanted to win the lottery for me and my two cousins, and he wanted to get us convertible Mustangs. Isn't that funny? After he passed, I did have two Mustangs. I love Mustang to this day. I don't know about the new ones. I've seen the new ones that look nothing like it. I like the 40th anniversary. That's what I would want. Convertible, black top, screaming yellow color. Thank you and please. Give me one, please. Like I had. My car was badass. But I sold it when my mom passed away because I had to take care of my dad. And thank God it sold right away. And I actually got like $200 back. I had two people kind of like fighting over it. And it was amazing. It was a beautiful car. But that made me feel so good to get that little extra money back and stuff. I was taking care of my dad. And it was meant to be. I didn't want to sell it, but I had to. I had to do the right thing. My eye is itching so bad. But I'm going to go back to when my dad had a stroke. My dad, you guys, I'm going to tell you, be very careful out there. When you get catheterizations, that's one of the side effects. You can get a stroke from it. Because they go in there through your groin and stuff. And, oh, my leg is itching. They go in there with a tube and a wire, a camera, and that messes up stuff. It loosens blood clots. And my dad, I remember when my dad had it at Beaumont, and Mom was positive. And it's so bad, I can't ask nobody. My mom or my dad isn't here no more. But I'm almost sure it was at Beaumont. I know, because it wasn't at the regular hospital. I'm almost positive. And it was Teddy Schreiber. Teddy Edward or whatever. Teddy Schreiber was the doctor. I didn't care for him. And I kind of went off because my dad had to get disability. I'm going to go through the whole story and not mess you guys up. I'm going to try to make it fast. So anyways, okay, he had the catheterization. We were so happy. They went through the groin. Everything seemed to be good. Blah, 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 blah. He was coming home the next day. And I think I remember I went to get KFC, like we like to say it, from Mr. Mom Colonel Chicken. We always had the inside joke, me and my husband, to this day. We love that movie. So I remember getting that and coming home. I was outside or something, washing the kitchen chairs or something. I was already home from the chicken. My dad was already home from the hospital. And all of a sudden, I don't know if my mom called me or what. I can't quite remember. But my dad was having a stroke. I didn't know what a stroke was. He was on the floor and he couldn't talk, but he knew enough to say, get his wallet. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So, yeah, we got his wallet, and we were hysterical, me and my mom. I didn't know what somebody looked like when they were having a stroke. I never knew that in my life. Fast, face, and what I know it, gotta remember it, FAST. And my aunt had strokes too, his sister, my Aunt Gloria, and her face was a little messed up from it. I mean, it got better in time, but it still had like a dead muscles. My Aunt Gloria was beautiful when she was young too, absolutely beautiful. And my Aunt Lillian, my godmother, I love them. My Aunt Gloria was funny as a card, like my dad. She was so sweet. I love you, Aunt Gloria in heaven. I love you, Aunt Lily in heaven. I love you, grasshoppers. I got a story to tell you one day when the Tigers won the World Series in '84. That's what I'm going to tell you guys tomorrow. That is freaking drop dead hysterical. Come back tomorrow for that story. But anyways, okay, getting on with this story. That's a funny ass story. You guys are going to like that one tomorrow. Come back. So anyways, my dad's in the process of having a stroke. We get into the hospital, St. John, 12 and Hoover, really was South Macomb. It was one level for years. It was a small hospital, and it just kept growing in time and changing the names and Ascension, and I'm like, whatever, 5,000 freaking different names. We call it South Macomb. So, after a bunch of tests, and my dad kept saying, I'm so dizzy, I want to throw up. I'm so dizzy, I can't even see. We didn't know. And thank God they did a test. I forget the name of the test. And it's a real common test, and I'll think of it as I go. But he had no blood on his brain, and we were so relieved about that. He had a mild, well, pretty serious midbrain stroke. What midbrain stroke means, it affected both sides, but his left side suffered more from that. So my dad couldn't work after that. I made sure, I made my mother, I became bossy right then and there. I made her take her layaways out. She had a gold necklace on the layaway. I made her cancel it. She got mad at me. I took charge right away. I pushed the doctors, everything, so my dad could get disability. Because they showed me at the doctor's office, they had a stack of papers this big of people needing. I go, look, I can't worry about them. I can only know what's happening to us. And we need these papers signed so my dad can get disability. And I was really young then. I was in my, now I don't even know if I was 20 years old. My dad was in the hospital back then they used to keep you when you had strokes and things. It was different. It was so much better back then. He was in the hospital for 42 or 43 days. Me and my mom went there every day because I could drive. I took her there and we'd stay there for 8 and 10 hours a day. I remember they hated me there. I washed the floor. I go, look how disgusting and dirty this floor is. This is a hospital. I'd shut the door and get down on my hands and knees and wash my whole dad's floor in case he had to get up with help from them because he was learning, he was getting rehabilitated, so his feet wouldn't get dirty or his socks. I didn't want my dad to be dirty and germs. I took very good care of my family, very good care. They didn't like me there sometimes because I got shitty with them. But then they also liked me because I was there so much. And then I got to know people through the years of my mother and my father being there so much. I knew everybody in the kitchen, all the doctors, all the cleaning people. I knew that hospital like I lived there. Like I was a worker there. Let's put it that way. I know that they still do something on Christmas and Thanksgiving. You get free meals there. And they're pretty damn good. And I remember because we spent many of Thanksgivings and Christmases there between my mother and father getting sick. I remember my mom was all excited because that was her little happiness that she didn't have to cook, and my dad was in there. We didn't know what we were going to eat. Nothing was open back in the day. You know, we're talking early 80s. Everything's still closed down for Thanksgiving. We had our Thanksgiving, and it was pretty damn good food in the hospital. Huge cake and everything. And I took enough home, or I took some home, and I dropped my mom off because I think I was just... Was I married then when my dad... No, my dad had a stroke. I wasn't married. That was another time, as he had different things throughout the time being sick. But we took food, I remember, home a little bit. We had enough food. We took some home. They had so much food there in the hospital. Turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, cranberries, cake, huge cakes, this, that. We had free drinks. We ate up good. And, you know, it was really nice to feel cared about when you got all these serious things going on. That's one less thing you have to worry about, money or food. My mom was getting ready to put her little money out and buy me and her food, and they're like, no, it's Thanksgiving or it's Christmas, it's free. And my mom was so happy. I remember when she went upstairs and told my dad was happy for us. It was just really, you know, things like that matter to people. To me, those are the kind of things I remember, you know. But yeah, I remember helping my dad walk through the hallways because I was always strong, like an ox. I'm Polak, okay? Me, Polak, rough, tough. I would help my dad walk through the hallways for physical therapy, and he'd hold on to me, and I was strong, and I wanted to make sure he was all right because those little therapy girls were little and tiny. My dad felt safer with me. I was very good at it, and they said I was good at it. I'd walk with him, and he was getting stronger. I remember when he came home, I took them, like, really fairly close to him coming home. Like, he still wasn't real good with his motor skills. He went to Big Boys, and he ate cream of mushroom soup, and he got it all over him, and he got so mad. I'm like, don't worry, that'll go in time, and it did. Thank God that all did. He got his driver's license and everything back. He was on disability retirement, and he didn't want to retire at first, but then he found out it was the best thing in the world because he could do little projects in the garage and relax and you know, things like that. So it worked out good. It worked out real good for him. It was good for him to be home. But yeah, that was my memory of that. My dad with the stroke. But we got him strong and good, and he came back home 42 days every day. 42 days I spent in the hospital, and I got my dad. I worked him. I never would let go of my dad. And that's when he said to my cousin, you know, right before he passed away, my cousin that's got the tube down her throat now, and I'm so worried about her. She's heavy and everything, and I love her to death. He said, why won't she let me go? She won't let me go. And he was ready to go, and I didn't know it. I was always in my mind, since I was a little girl when my dad got sick, I'm going to keep you here. We need you. You're daddy to us, me and my mom. And I loved you, and I would did anything for my mother and my father. I would have walked through fire for them. And if anybody would have hurt them or touched them, they'd be dead. They'd be dead. Because my parents were my world, and they still are. And I'm betting on and I'm counting on God to let me see them again. I trust in him that he is not going to do that to me and separate me from them like that. I believe in him that much. I know he won't do that to me. I know he won't. I just know he won't. Because why would anything matter in this world then? It would be such a jip. Think about it. God is an all-loving God. And he is funny and sweet and kind and love. I truly believe that the key to life, and nobody knows and gets this, because life is so hard on this plane, and everything is negative around us, and the devil's pulling at us always. But I truly believe in the end of all ends that love is the key that gets us through to heaven. That's what I truly believe. Love is the key that gets us through to heaven. How much love we've shown gets us through there faster. I truly believe that with my heart and soul. I do. And I'm sorry, nobody can ever talk me out of believing that. I will always believe that. Love is the magic potion to get through to heaven. Think about it. What else would matter more than love? But I love you guys. Come back tomorrow. Tomorrow's a funny-ass story. It might be short, but it's funny. It is funny. And my Aunt Gloria does star in it, and I can see her making faces at me. Like, are you crazy? It is funnier than shit. I love you guys. I hope anybody was listening today could benefit from my story. Don't give up when somebody's in a hospital. Help them, love them, and you can bring them back. Trust me, you can. God bless you all. Have a great night. Lisa's sharing life stories with you. And subscribe before I break your kneecaps. We're all in this shit together. Bye.